So, even though it's my opinion, like parrots, that we don't light Hanukkah candles with oil, with electricity, because a great man did a great thing, I just wish to spend the next 2 days going through the opinion of Rabbi Yosef Masas, who did hold that it was okay, and why. Rabbi Yosef begins this letter by saying that he received many responses to his book when he first put it out, the book Mayim Chaim. So some people wrote comments, some sort of suggestions, some blessings, some songs. And some people wrote to him positive reviews, negative reviews. Some people wrote to him and he said their responses to his book showed their lack of knowledge in Torah. Some showed their lack of derech eretz in Torah. He said, but nonetheless, he responded to every person who wrote him a letter. He said his books reached at that point the cities of America, Poland, Belgium, and other such places. And then there were people, v'yesh baleda, there were some people who were people of intellect, of knowledge. Asher hayta kavanatam rak lahavin shma. The reason they were asking was not to make trouble, was to understand what it is that I was trying to get to. Shalchu tfisatam derech kavod. They wrote their approach respectfully, b'anava, with humility, chen, with grace, v'chavod, and respect. V'garhem kiblu tshuva. They also received a equal response. B'divrei didut, with words of friendship, v'ahava, and love. The vaya b'da'atin, it was, I wished, he said, it was my plan, l'otzit kulam ata le'ora, to publish all of the letters that I received and my responses to them. Ach ha'otzah gavra, but the expenses were too high. V'hakesef yakar, and money is beyond my reach. V'hazman akar, and time was short. V'ach hanugah li'nyan nerot, but that would actually have to do with the candles of Chanukah. Yeh ata le'merot. V'Hashem yazor, he says, this is what I'm going to publish, and Hashem should help me. He could only publish the more relevant letters because he didn't have money to publish the rest. He writes his letter to Rabbi Shmuel Marziano. He says, Michtava bahir higiani b'mado. Your beautiful, shining letter reached me at the right time. Kulo ratzuf ha'ava, was full of words of love, b'chol levav modo, with all of your heart and soul. Toda rabba b'kiflayim, I'm thanking you twofold. Al rov simchatchem b'sifri Mayim Chaim, and that which you had joy with my book Mayim Chaim, ken yismach libchem shivatayim, may Hashem bless you that your heart should be sevenfold as happy. B'vinyan Yerushalayim, with the building of Jerusalem. Amen. Reiti ma shekatav kvodo. I saw what His Honor wrote to me. Ki nimtza etzlo seva Kav HaChaim. You have a book called Kav HaChaim. We quote Kav HaChaim often. This is a... That's the one that I forgot about. Okay, Kav HaChaim. It's at home. Rabbi Yaakov Chaim Savel was a Sephardic rabbi, lived in Yerushalayim. V'sham b'ilchot Chanukah, and you saw that there in the laws of Chanukah, he writes, Asar, he prohibits la'asot nerot Chanukah me'or chashman. It's forbidden to light Chanukah candles from electricity. Hanikret b'shem electricity, which they call electricity. Mishum deba'inan shemen u'ptila, because in order to fulfill your obligation of Chanukah candles, you need a wick and oil. V'kan, and here by light bulbs, en rak or bli tfisat mamashut. There's light, but it doesn't have anything that it actually holds onto. It's not like a wick that burns, oil that melts. V'od, and furthermore, sham norah hayta nidleket al yedei adam, that the menorah in the temple was lit by a person, a kohen. V'kan, and here al yedei mechona, here a machine is lighting the candles. You turn the light, it's all automatic. It's not a person lighting. V'od, and more. Mipnei shashit mila'o v'havi kavuka. Says the glass bulb is full of light, and it appears like a torch, and a torch you can't light Hanukkah candles with. He said, and you're asking me how it could be that the Kav HaChaim says you cannot use electricity, but I hold that you can use electricity. So you're asking me to explain myself. Dai Didi says, no, my friend. כי גם אני, יש לי בית חלקים האחרונים מספר רבי יונה. I own 2 volumes of this book that you're talking about, the Kaf HaChaim. Not all of them. I own the last 2. Shalach li ben hamchaber, Yishmeru tzorov yichayo, the son of the author, the son of Rabbi Sofer, who wrote the Kaf HaChaim, sent me the dugma, a sample. If I want to order more, he sent me a sample. This is still in Algeria or Morocco. Ve'eno matzui etzli ka'et, and I can't find my copy of the book now. Ve'im kol zot, and nonetheless, bimkomi ani omed la'atir. Even though he's a great man, I still stand in my place to be lenient. Umay dektivana bezat Hashem, and that which I wrote with Hashem's help, that what I'm going to write with Hashem's help, yaspik lahatir et isuro, will already be enough to prove that I'm correct. Zachar hamichila rabba mikvodo v'hodo v'hadaro. I'm asking forgiveness from His greatness, from His honor, from His splendor. Demash katav debainan shemen im ptila, that which he says, that you need a wick and oil. Mipnei sho zeno, it's not true. It's not true. Who says you need a wick and oil? The premise you're going on is flawed, he says. Shari kol arei Ashkenaz, all the cities of Ashkenaz, nahagu lasot Chanukah b'nerot sheshava. They all use wax candles. Nobody uses oil. Mipnei she'oran salul kemo shemen. So there are many halachot like this, that in Europe nobody did them. And when Ashkenazim met the Sfaradim, they adopted back old customs that everyone used to do. And nobody realized the Sfaradim were the ones that held on to these customs. For example, like lighting with oil, Chanukiot, like eating glad kosher meat.
In Europe, did they have access to olive oil before?
They did. And even if they did, it wasn't something they could have had enough of to light with. Glad kosher meat, which in Europe was almost non-existent, came back. The resurgence of that came back with the Sfaradim. What else was I mention to you? Yashan, the laws of Yashan. There was almost nobody. Chavetz Chaim screams. Nobody kept Yashan. He couldn't understand why. Today, Baruch Hashem, you have more and more and more Ashkenazim that are keeping Yashan. A lot of things are like this. We learned from each other. One group held on to something strong enough throughout the exile, and when we met, we took them back from each other.
Teimanim kept some interesting
also
practices.
Mipnei she'oran salul kemo shemen, the reason Ashkenazim use wax candles, we read last week from Shulchan Aruch, is the Rama says because their light is pure like oil light. Meaning it's the same, it gives up the good light. K'mo shekatav Moram, like the Rama writes. וכך בדרכי משה, דמן דאוסר נרות של שעבה לא חש לקמחה, וכבר מחילי המוחי בסבר עיני רבה, הרי לך מפורש, זה לא בין השמן, רק כל דבר שאורות צלול, eat בי מצווה אפילו לכתחילה. So from here you see that you don't need any oil, you just need anything that lights, and if it's wax and it lights, it's also okay. It doesn't make a difference if it's oil or not.
So, are you saying then, or this is Rabbi Masas
speaking,
saying that it's the light itself that matters, not the source of the light?
Correct.
But of course, this is different than Shabbat candles. Because Shabbat candles,
this is different than what I said when I explained this halachot, and I still stand that one should use oil and wicks. Yeah. But here I'm trying to explain. I said a great man said something. I want to explain what is. Where do you come from? This is v'keilin aptilot. Did you tell me about wicks? Kaimalan, we have a halakha in Shulchan Aruch which you read last week. Shekol aptilot ksherot. All the wicks in the world are kosher, says Man. V'hachanami ik aptilot shenachoshet. Here in a light bulb, you have wicks of metal, copper. The malish smartutin, malish and nechoshet. What do I care if the wicks are made? Smartutin is the Hebrew word for shmatis. What do I care if the wicks are made from cotton or the wicks are made from metal? What difference does it make as long as there's a wick? Haikaru, the main thing is davar hanitle bo ha'or, something which light is connected to or comes from. Vilu haya or Hashem and nitla b'chutei nechoshet. And if there was such a scientific reality that oil could go up, be absorbed by copper wires, vaday shebehenu medekim b'mikdash. I'm positive in the Beit HaMikdash they would use copper wicks. Mipnei she'en behen because they're much cleaner and more efficient than using clothing that burns and smells and gets dirty. This is if there was such a thing. Oil doesn't work like that. But if there was such a thing, like electricity, that these wires bring about light, they would use them in the Beit HaMikdash also.
So again, it's light not necessarily flame.
Correct.
Because there's a difference.
Though he's saying that it is essentially a flame at the end of a wick, which is wire.
It's not really a flame.
And not a flame in the sense of fire, a flame in the sense of light, you're right. Umashktav and what else you wrote? Shaor ha-electricity, the light of electricity, who blit fisat mamashut, is not holding on to any material like fire holds on to clothing. Gam Zaynon is also not true, ki below chutei nechoshet lo ta'ir klal. Because without these wicks of copper, the wires, they wouldn't give light at all. Just like oil wouldn't give light without the wicks. And therefore, the light literally depends on these wicks, on the wires. How is this any different than a wick? And then he asks an interesting question. Because you're coming to me, the flame has to be resting on wicks, it has to be attached to some kind of wick. You're right. V'od, I have a question to you. Be'ez sefer, which book, Matzino, did you find the Ba'inan Fisat Mamashut? In which book did you find that one of the requirements for Chanukah candles is it has to have a wick that it's attached to? Where does it say that? Where did you find such a source?
A wick attached to it.
Meaning, the fire has to be sitting on some kind of material that burns.
How else would you have fire?
Correct. So his assumption is, it's not that it's necessary, just how else would you have fire? So that's how they used to light. But today, you don't need that wick in order to have fire, and therefore, who said you need it?
In terms of a candle.
Correct.
Then how would you differentiate one light from another one in terms of the source?
He's saying you don't need to.
These are like an electric candelabra.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Oh, so the main part is the light. It doesn't make a difference to me how it got there. You look in your eyes, there's light in front of you. Said if there was such a reality that you could light oil without a wick, he said, do you think, you still need a wick? Imagine if you had a self-burning oil. Like if you ever light alcohol, you see how it lights on fire. Imagine if you could do such a thing in the Beit HaMikdash. You think our rabbis, sorry, it's not kosher because you don't have a wick. A wick is not a crucial part of the Chanukah candles. Even in the Beit HaMikdash, it wasn't crucial. The only reason we had wicks was because that's the way you light a fire. Not because you need a wick in order to have a fire. So of course you don't need wicks. And therefore I ask you a question. Said, how are you going to tell me that you'll prohibit using a candle that doesn't have wicks, meaning electricity? If I'll tell you that even in the Beit HaMikdash you didn't need to have candles that had wicks. They only had wicks because that's the way you light a candle. But if they had another material to light with, of course they wouldn't need a wick. So where did you come up in your mind that a candle needs to have a wick?
Shabbat?
Also not. Light. This is your invention. It's nice that you invented it, but don't come ask me questions. I'm asking you the questions.
So you're saying that even with Shabbat, I mean, when I was diverging, but
yeah,
you could use another kind of light. There's no specific instruction to have a wick and...
right.
But it does talk about the type of candles that are permissible and are not.
Those oils are because they smell bad, they don't light well, they'll go out. Not because they are, if you have a, that's why we say you could use electricity for Shabbat. Candles. See, the whole difference here is that by Shabbat, all you need is light. And so it doesn't make a difference. Electric light, this kind of light, that kind of light. You have light, that's fine. Our parents is here, we're trying to commemorate a miracle. And the miracle happened in a certain way, with oil, with wicks, with fire. And therefore, the best way to commemorate that miracle is oil, wicks, and fire. Rav Masas's argument against the Peretz is not against the Peretz. He says, I agree. If you tell me that you demand oil, wicks, and fire, and that's what all the Jewish people do, fine. But already you have half the Jewish people who light with wicks and candles. They're not even using oil. So what are they telling me? that the components of the candle as they were in the Beit HaMikdash are not me'akev. They're not that significant. As long as you have a light, says the Rama, it's okay. It doesn't make a difference if it's a candle, if it's oil, as long as it's a nice, good light. So why should electricity be any worse?
So would your menorah in the backyard be a halachically acceptable Hanukah?
According to Rabbi Masas, yes. You should know, this is the reason I don't light that Hanukah before I light my candles. Today someone else came to my house and lit it, but I always wait till afterwards. Why? I don't want to get my head in this argument of who's right and who isn't.
Some things remain unresolved.
In my mind it's resolved, but Rav Masas or Uziel, they're too big of people for me to just dismiss what they have to say. This is an opinion. At the very least, I should take their opinion in on a strict level, not on a lenient level. Not to use electric light, but to make sure that even electric light could count as fulfilling the mitzvah. Tomorrow, B'ezrat Hashem, we'll see the next two paragraphs here. In the second paragraph, he's going to say, "Dear Rabbi who's writing me the letter, you clearly have no knowledge of the way electricity works. I suggest you study electricity before you write about electricity." And this, we see here that a Talmid Chacham who does not understand basic things that need to be understood when you are posek halachot, then how could you bring yourself to rule about something with which you have no familiarity? So the argument would be, what, I have to be a drug addict to be able to help people get off drugs? It's not what we're asking you to be a drug addict. We're asking you to at the very least study the effect of drugs on the human body, and then to help people get out of it. But if you also don't do that, how do you want me to trust you? Meaning, if you're going to rule, these rabbis.